What's up, Game Boys and Girls? Big T here, back with another video, and we're gonna look at some recent pickups, and I'm gonna give you some tips on things to do when you're a collector, things that'll help you out as far as your collection and making it look really cool and nice and neat and all that good stuff. So let's get started. First, my recent pickups. I recently got this game here. You can see it there. It's in there, and that is Peter Jackson's King Kong. For whatever reasons, I noticed that this game was going up. I had it a long time ago, and I'm sure I either traded it in with a previous Xbox 360 that I had, but I just noticed that it was going up, and I was kind of like, oh, I want to get that game again. And the price is like going up on this game. I guess it's rare, I don't know. You tell me if you know. So I bought this. Didn't come in this case. This is actually a case from a different game I had before, but I'll get into that later. This is part of the tips of what collectors can do. So I'll save this for later and get into that later. This wasn't quite recent, but I thought I had put the video out for this, but I never did. Never got around to it. That is my Vectrex. So I'll just show you some of my Vectrex games. I showed this before in a previous video, but I'll do like a full-on kind of walkthrough for the Vectrex and what it's about. Very old gaming system, came out in 1982, so quite some time ago. But let's get into my more recent pickups. I have Monster Boy here. What's the subtitle on this one? The Cursed Kingdom. This is a game that also skyrocketed pretty quickly. As you can see here, this is the Asian version. I think that's what it's called. It's not Japanese. I think it's Chinese. This actually has English subtitling in it. So you just put this in your Switch, and it automatically recognizes your region, and it'll use the English text instead of the region text that this came out in. So that's another thing people got to remember to do is if you're looking for games and they're super expensive locally, look for other regions' copies and see if they have them in your language. And it's the same game. This is basically the same game, just different cover art. I mean, it's exactly the same. So look out for that. This game I think is over $100 if you get like at least the North American version of it. But I got this for less than 30 or less than 40. It was 37 or something like that. So you can get a nice deal buying these games from different regions. If there's probably more abundance in those regions, you get a good deal on them. So, remember to do that. This is an acquisition that I didn't even know these things existed. I think I was just trying to see if the Split Pad Pro prices had gone up, and I realized that they had started making a whole bunch of different other versions. So you guys have seen my Split Pad Pro for my Switch. They're actually currently not in right now. They're in the box because I got the bin box, so I've been using those. So I don't have my Split Pad Pros in right now. But this is another version of the Split Pad Pro, and I didn't know this existed. This is obviously for Pokemon Eevee, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu. This is kind of like a version of Split Pad for that. So it has that kind of design for Eevee and Pikachu. And these are awesome. And they're made by Ori, so their quality. Let me pull these out. I will probably never use these on my Switch. But I bought them because this is the collector in me. Like I said, I don't really like to call myself a collector, but once in a while I'll see stuff that's like, I don't really want to use it, but I know I want to buy it because it's going to end up being collectible. And that's these beautiful things here. So let's get the thing wants to focus here. Camera, focus. All right, so you can see them there. Maybe it's the plastic that's throwing it off. Clear plastic. Let me take it out, see if it looks better. If I do that, yeah, there it is. Cover my face. Still doesn't want to focus. All right, whatever. So these are very cool. was hoping you can see them better because you can see the color. But it's very similar to the color of the Joy-Cons. with the brown and kind of teal, and very nice. So what I was gonna say is that Ori controllers are very collectible. I notice, after a while, they get really expensive, and I noticed that for the N64 Ori controllers. I noticed that for the GameCube Game Boy Advance controller that Ori made. So they made a controller that looked like a Super Nintendo controller that you can use for your Game Boy player. And those things are, ridiculously priced at this point. My boy clocked it recently, found one at his mom's house because he was rummaging around and found his, and that he had bought back in the day. And these things, brand new. I don't want to say new, but I think in the box they're about $1,000. If you have it, you have the box with the controller, they're about $1,000. And I was like, yeah, I like playing my Game Boy player still, and it's just not as intuitive using the GameCube controller. And I never had one of those Ori controllers. I've seen them. I saw them in the game stores back in the day, and I never bought one. And I'm kicking myself now. But if I can find it, where did I put that? Oh, here it is. So I was like, well, I wonder if there's a Super Nintendo like adapter, a Super Nintendo controller adapter that'll let you use your Super Nintendo controller on your Game Boy or into your GameCube, basically, so you can use it for Game Boy player stuff. And I'm like, so I looked it up and I found one, and it looks like this is something that somebody modded and made at home, basically, because I can tell that this is 3D printed. And I'm guessing the eBay seller who made this or sells this made it himself. So I just got this in. I ordered this a while ago. This is from the UK. It took forever to get here. But it's here. Yeah, you can tell it's 3D printed. And there you go. So, and there's your GameCube port. And you put that right in there in your GameCube. It fits. Looks like he probably just used an old GameCube controller for this wiring. And he made this little box, and there's a little chipset inside, I'm sure. And you can basically play your your Game Boy player games on your GameCube using your Super Nintendo controller. And here it is. Just want to show you. Goes in perfectly. Again, this part is probably, I don't know if he ordered this or maybe this is just, it's probably ordered because the Super Nintendo slots are gray unless he painted it. So yeah, fits perfectly. I'm going to test this out later. I'm sure it works. It better work. I paid for it. It was like, I want to say $25, $27 or something that he was selling them for. So now I don't have to be so envious of people who have a Super Nintendo style Ori controller to play their Game Boy player games. Their Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, whatever you put in the game, because the Game Boy player will play everything Game Boy. So now I can play them on the big screen with this Super Nintendo controller. The problem with the GameCube is that the D-pad is just too tiny, It's like I want to say it's like even a Game Boy Advance size, or maybe smaller. I feel like it's smaller than that, but I'm not sure. I don't have my Game Boy Advance to check it out. But yeah, so there you go. It's cool to have that, and now I can play, confidently with my Super Nintendo controller for my Game Boy player. So that's cool. No more envy. So, all right. So is that it for acquisitions, recent pickups? I believe so. Oh yeah, there's one here, but and this will lead in actually a good lead in for my tip stuff. So that was all my acquisitions recently. Nope, there's one more. I knew there was one more, so I just spotted it. I didn't want to do that. I'm gonna try to hold on a second here. All right, so I wanted to show this without it being on. So let me see if the lights. All right, so as you can see there, that's Wii U branded, and this is a touch pen. It comes in a cool little holster here. You can see that. And I just saw this, and I'm like, I'd never seen this before, so I had to buy it. I think I paid $30 for it, which is fine for me. It's a little dusty there. Because I had never seen it before, and I know this is gonna be super collectible. Again, the collector does come out in me once in a while, and I want to buy things that, you know, are different. So it's made by Power A. So again, these guys are still around. They're still making Switch controllers. If I can get this thing to... It's not like the Wii U was that long ago, but it's not going to focus, is it? I don't know what this... There we go. Power A, so you can see that there. And then there's a little button at the top, and you press it, and you get colors. Hope that comes through on the camera. So you can see it's red now. Switching it, that's green. It's really hard to see. Maybe if I turn this light off, it'll be a little better. That didn't really do anything. So yeah, that's green. Well, it did something. Let's put it closer. It's hard to see if that's green, but that's blue. And I think there's a purple there, and it kind of does a cycling thing as well, if you wanted to do that. And that, I mean, that's all it does. It's a, you know, just like your pin for your Wii U gamepad. That's all this is. It's just a more fancier version. And I just saw it and I said, this looks cool, and it looks collectible to me, and I want to buy that. And so add that to the collection. I'm sure it'll end up being worth something, but you know, I don't buy things because I want to end up selling them. Game collectors just like to know the worth because it's just fun to know that, like, what is my collection worth type of thing. So I'm sure that'll pad my collection's worth. But yeah, so I recently bought this game. I just happened upon hearing about this game, Opuna, and this is a very strange RPG, and I'll show you some footage. It's very similar visually to like Pikmin, like visual style. It's nothing like Pikmin, but this is a turn-based RPG game, and you walk around in 3D worlds with this character called Opuna. It's you and his family, and I think they get like they crash land and they get separated, and so it's kind of like Pikmin, and you have to go find them all basically, and get back to your ship and repair it and move on. There's no doubt in my mind this was influenced by Pikmin, at least the art style and the kind of idea of it, but it's a really solid, really good, from the reviews I've read and seen, really good RPG that nobody knows about on the Wii. And it's pretty expensive, so I was luckily able to find a disc-only copy of it for, it was in the, I want to say it's in the, what did I pay? I think I paid like around $30 for it. But a complete copy will run you like $150 or more. Like I said, because this is a kind of rare game. And I was able to take a case that I had, and I took off the artwork because I have duplicates. Sometimes I have duplicates of games and whatnot, and I'll know that, you know, if I end up with a kind of loose copy of something, I can put it in here and do my own artwork. So here you go. I'm gonna print out the artwork for this, and you can do that on there's a couple websites out there. I can't think of, one's called like The Cover or something like that, .com or something. I'll put a link, but you can, nice high-res photographs of cover art for, you know, thousands of games, and you can just go in and find your console. You can search by console, that kind of thing, and find the game you're looking for. I will say not all games are there. For some of this stuff, I had to go Google and kind of piece together myself using Photoshop, which is fine if you know how to use Photoshop. That works pretty well too. And, you know, print them out, and it looks really good. I'm trying to see if I remember to, well, I don't have one that I printed within reach here. Oh yeah, I do. Here. So I don't think I ever had the, no, I did. I bought Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, you know, a long time ago, probably 2005 or so. and I somehow lost the artwork. I lost the case, and so I printed out a new case, or a new piece of artwork for the game. I don't know where the book is. Obviously, I lost the case in the book, but the game's in there, obviously. But look at that. Can you tell that that's reprinted artwork? Obviously, as long as you cut it really well, it's hard to tell. I can't tell. Maybe if you take it out, it's a little bit easier to tell, because this is a little more glossier, but you probably won't be able to tell on the camera. But yeah, this is a really good tip for gamers. If you're looking to collect stuff, like most of my games, I have all the games I pretty much want as far as retro stuff, because I was buying stuff as at least somewhere within the time frame of it coming out, 5 years or so. So I have most of my stuff, but there's still some stuff that I bought in a lot, and it was just the disc and stuff like that. And so this is a good way to do that. And so you can buy, a set of 10 GameCube, what do you call them, GameCube cases or whatever, and then you can print out the artwork yourself. If you don't have a nice printer, UPS store, you can go online to UPS store and you can set it up, pick the paper style. I think cardstock is probably the best to use for cover art for games, cardstock paper, and it's cheap, and you can print off a bunch at once, and it's really cheap. Like I said, go pick it up at UPS store and come home and cut them out, and it's great. So look at that looks great, and you can't tell. So that is a really cool option for those who have loose games everywhere, and you want to make them nice and put them in a nice cover or nice case or something, make it look good. All right, so next up we have PSP. Now I bought these PSP cases as well. I think I bought 25 or something like that. It was fairly cheap, 25 for like, I want to say $30 or something, really cheap. Not all cases, you're not going to get that many. For most cases, they're more expensive, but you could probably tell that this isn't this is new. These are new. And so you have the little thing to put the artwork down, slide it in. I haven't done it for PSP yet because the sizes are different than your DVD standard, and I'm basically going to have to do some test prints to make sure the size is right on these before I get to them. But PSP games I used to buy all the time at Eevee Games, Electronics Boutique and whatnot, and they were always not in case. A lot of them were not in case. It was just like these, and not only is the case itself a repro case, like a reproduction case, but the, what do you call this, the protective kind of, it's not a sleeve, but the protective cover for these PSP discs, sometimes they go. So as you can tell, this is black. I'm pretty sure, unless it was a movie, all PSP protective cover or protective coverings were white, and they had the PSP logo, insignia, and whatnot on it. I'm gonna pull out one right here. Untold Legends, good game. So that's what normal PSP would look like. So you have like I said, you have the little PSP logo, then you have the little thing here to let you know it's a game or a movie. Obviously this is a game. And why are you bugging? Oh yeah, there you go. So yeah, UMD, Universal Media Disc, and this is a little white cover. But sometimes these things wear out, they get flimsy. This one, as you can see, this is actually getting flimsy itself. And you can see how it's coming apart there a little bit. And eventually, it won't want to read. Now, this is actually like the little thing that's coming out here. Try to fix this. There you go. Pop it back in. There. Pop that back in. But, sometimes they'll wear out and they'll be loose and they won't read. Like the PSP won't read. It won't be anything wrong with the actual disc itself. It's just the cover of the disc is so flimsy that your PSP doesn't want to read it. So I had to buy a bunch of these kind of you know, aftermarket black covers here. These are solid. I've got some before. I think they were like the clear ones. I wish I would have pulled that out. There's some that are clear, you know, that are see-through. Those are garbage. They never work. But these black ones here work perfectly. They work just like your regular PSP cover would. And so, again, like I said, I used to buy a bunch of these PSP games in little lots or super on sale for like $2-3 even sometimes. For, you know, or like buy 2 get 2 free. That even, yeah, that, because they were trying to get rid of PSP when I was really buying them. And so I'm just gonna print out the cover art, stick it in here, and it's gonna look great. You know, it's not gonna be a problem there. And it'll display nice, and you know, it'll look good. So you don't have to go crazy and buy the complete, unless you're like some crazy collector, which I'm not. I just want the game, right? And I want it to look nice if I can get it to look nice. So unless you're some crazy collector who has to have that, you know, real, you know, the real artwork, the real booklet, all that kind of stuff, then, you know, this isn't going to work for you. But if you're just a collector or a gamer who just wants to play these games and have them look nice for display purposes, then this is a way to do that. So, all right, and here's another game I picked up, just game only. This is for Wii U, obviously, and it's Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures 2. And yeah, so I bought a bunch of Wii U cases. These are really cheap because nobody cares about Wii U, poor Wii U. And I got these for really cheap. And I'm going to obviously do the same thing. I'm going to print out the artwork, slide them in here. It's going to look great. I only have a couple of Wii U games like Tank and this, and, you know, but maybe I'll see something that is collectible and I can get it cheaper just buying the disc. But I pretty much have all the Wii U games I want. There may be a few that I'll add to the collection, but yeah. Let me put this back in here. Untold Legends. See, that's another thing. When you pop them in to these things sometimes, that is what contributes to it getting worn out. The little plastic shell, protective shell. Just putting it in the case can wear it out sometimes. It's crazy. Okay, so this is also a part of a recent pickup, kinda. I've showed me playing this game. I actually was supposed to do a video on this. Have I not done this? I don't think I've done the review. I think I recorded it, but I never put it out. So, obviously, Dinosaur Planet. This is a repro box because the game doesn't exist on N64. But we know that the ROM got leaked recently for the mostly completed version of Dinosaur Planet, the original version that Rare was working on for N64 that became Star Fox Adventures on the GameCube. So I saw somebody selling this, and I bought this. Probably paid a little bit more than I should. I mean, it wasn't that expensive, but I bought it because I wanted to have a nice, you know, box. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's in a yeah, you can see it now. It's in a protective plastic cover for your boxes. Now, this is nothing new, but I just bought a bunch of these to protect what few boxes I have left. I'm actually looking out for repro boxes when I can get them. This is obviously a repro box because, like I said, this game doesn't exist. But the rest of the ones I have aren't. These are the N64 and Super Nintendo games that I still have left as far as the boxes go. This is my original Conker's Bad Fur Day box. And you can see it's kind of beat up. If you look at the edges up top there, it's got a hole there. But this makes it look a lot nicer. And I can actually handle it without worry I'm going to make it worse using these clear protective boxes. So, you know, you just put them in there, close them, and they're protected with clear plastic. Now, on that same note, there are N64 cases out there, clear cases, and a lot of them work for Super Nintendo as well. And I'm going to pull one that isn't in there. Okay, yeah, so let's just pull this. And they look like this. So this is a case that will hold Super Nintendo games. It might even hold Sega Genesis, I don't know. But definitely Super Nintendo and N64. And so for N64, you put it in like that, and it will hold. And then Super Nintendo, you're going to put it in that way. Obviously, N64 games are not as wide. So, yeah, these are great. And what you can do, if you have, the booklet, because I no longer have the box for Legend of Zelda here. Is this? Oh, it definitely is. Okay, so that's a cool thing. I forgot. So here's a N64 cart. It's the gold one that is the most expensive right now to buy. But this is my original N64 day one Mario Kart. Zelda Ocarina of Time. You can see some scratches there. It's kind of beat up because I used to play the crap out of this game. I still do play it happily. So again, for display purposes, you can put it in here and face it that way. But if you still have the booklet, which I do, there's the booklet there. Take the booklet, put it on the other side. Close it. And there you go. You can display it right there. And so if you don't have the box, here's a nice cool way to display it. You can flip it and show that side. That looks really nice. You can show that side, obviously. And so this is a cool way to be able to display your N64 games on a shelf. You want to, put them in the shelf like that. And inexpensive, You don't have to, because the boxes for N64 games are crazy expensive. They're like twice as much as the game cost, when it first came out. Some of them are, not all of them. But I know Zelda especially, those boxes are super expensive. Oh yeah, I wanted to point this out. I want to leave this in here. So, like I said, I used to play this game a lot. And, the cover art on the cartridge here itself wears out. And it's like, what do you do? So this is a repro cover art. It's basically, you can buy these stickers and that are your cover art. Buy them, peel them off this little thing, and slap them on here, and all nice, new, clean. And I have a piece of tape to protect it. It's hard to see there. It's a little glossy. I have a piece of tape protecting now this new cover art sticker here. That's just a sticker for the cover art, because the cover art I had was whiting everywhere. It was worn out because I pulled the game in, put it in, sweaty hands, over 23 years. That wears out, right? But now I just put this new, and there's sellers everywhere selling stickers to cover your N64 game. Same thing with Buck Bumble. Buck Bumble was in terrible shape. This is a repro sticker cover art. And some people are stickler for that. Oh, I can't, that's repro, so it's not real. But again, I'm not selling this. This is for me. And I also have these cool, what do you call them? N64. This thing is really bright and it's not focusing because of that. Come on, bitty bitty Buck Bumble. Cover art, not cover art, but labels to go on the top, so you can, if you want to stack them in a shelf, you'll know what game it is instead of seeing, a gray top. Unlike the Super Nintendo games and the NES games that displayed on the top as well. So yeah, so both of these are repro cover. You can't tell, you can't tell. The game is authentic, It's just that the cover art I got after, but it works. And so, speaking of which, on that same kind of note, I don't know, 100 years ago, 2006, I think, I'm pretty sure it was 2006, I bought, and it wasn't in this, it was one of those GameStop, it was in one of those GameStop cases or whatever, the ugly Electronics Boutique or GameStop covers. It was in a DVD case or whatever. It wasn't even a GameCube case. That I bought this in a bin at GameStop, and this is Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Super duper expensive game at this point to collect for. Even just the disc. I think the disc itself will run you $200. You know, easy, just the disc. But I never liked it just sitting in this kind of crap. This is a classic. And this is a really good game, by the way. This is a classic Fire Emblem game, and now super collectible. And I hated it being in this. And not recently, but probably 4 or 5 months ago, maybe longer. I think it was late last year, like November or something. I just kept looking online to find, some Reaper. I could have done it myself, but this is actually before I decided to start doing my own case covers. That I found this, and this is one thing I couldn't have done myself. So here it is. This is a repro cover art for Fire Emblem I found online. I think I paid $30 for it. And you're like, $30 just for the cover art? No, $30 because it also has a full-on repro manual. That's a reproduction manual, but you couldn't tell looking at it and feeling it. It looks and feels like the original manual for the game. But here's one way to tell. You open up that first page and it says right there, reproduction. Some people out there are skeevy, try to sell reproduction stuff as if it's original. There's ways to tell if you're in the know, but this company, or not company, probably some person, some kid somewhere, who reprinted this entire manual. This is the original manual. It has all the pictures and all that stuff and all the instructions and everything. They're all nicely printed in there. This is a really good reproduction of this manual, and so that's why I paid $30 for it, because for me it was worth it to actually have a nice looking case. And I went and used one of my duplicate, like I said, GameCube games and took that case, and then now I've had it in there. I just, for the purposes of this video, I wanted to show you, basically what it looked like. And now I have, complete, at least to me. Obviously, it's a repro complete, but now it's in a nice case, looking real snazzy, where it deserves to be, in something nice, because it is a super expensive game. Now, this game complete is selling for like $400, $300 to $400. If you, more than that, $350 to $400. Complete, the original complete. But again, I'm not selling this. It's not for me selling. I've had this game since 2006 or 2007. Like I said, whenever I walked into GameStop and found this, and it was a diamond hidden. I don't think it was as sought after at that point, but I've had it, held on to it, protected it all these years, and now I have a nice case to put it in and make it look really nice for me as a collector. So yeah, there's tons of things you can do. Again, if you're not a stickler for having the original artwork and manual, and some people are, and there's no problem with that, that's how you are. But for me, I'm a gamer. I just want to collect games that I'm actually going to play. And, I want them to be in something nice, so I can put them away in. I don't want them to be in some kind of flimsy blank thing that devalues my collection, at least in my eyes, to me. So these are cool little tips you can use. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Are you going to use any of these things? Have you done this already? You don't have to break it, spinning. I was going to say break a leg. You don't have to spin an arm and a leg to have nice stuff in your collection. You can make it look really nice on your own, or spend a little money and get it to look nice the way you want it to. So yeah, that's my video. Hope you guys and gals enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, so you can catch more videos like this as well. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.